This 1981 Silver Spirit didn't make its reserve at auction, but afterwards we offered 13 grand, which was accepted.
The perceived image is like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, wide boy, innit? The fact of the matter is, this is just such a fantastic car for very little money.
The car is lovely, just wafts quality and leather, and all you want to do is get in and sleep or drive, one or the other.
There is a herd of cattle in there, isn't there?
They're just so nice. You know, it's old technology and it's old everything. They're just lovely. They really are.
Currently, our roller doesn't start and the windscreen wipers won't stop. But we're hoping these are just simple electrical faults. Assuming there's no rot, our super low mileage example may just need a makeover.
The body wants detailing. It's all scratchy. You must have used a brush on it or something, I don't know. 7,500 miles. He must have done 2-mile trips, mustn't he? That wear on that seat there is just where he's slid in and out, and that wants colouring up. You don't want to see any of that, do you?
All in all, though, Paul seems quite pleased with us.
I think you have at last bought something that's going to turn into something. £8,000 or £9,000 buys you a normal, nice one. That car should do late teens, early 20s, because where are you going to find another one of them?
We've decided to ship this one to Buckinghamshire. Ray Hillier and his team have decades of experience working on Rolls Royces and Bentleys.
You can have a car that's here for an oil change, right the way through to this, which has been down to the last nut and bolt.
There's a whiff of glamour about the place, but it's not always like this.
We've seen some lovely cars, we've seen some less than lovely. We've had cars where the floor pans are missing. I mean, Fred Flintstone should be driving him.
And you're here to look at ours?
Yeah.
You notice you've got a handy skip, just in case.
2 bits of wood, drive it in.
Joining Ray today, mechanic Chris Leith.
It's very tidy so far.
Your eye obviously goes to something immediately, Ray. What would that be?
I was just looking at the seals. Seals and the wheel arches, their areas of corrosion, but it looks all right. Looks tidy to start with.
Very good exhaust system.
That actually looks really tidy, Chris. Yeah, it's had work, not for a long time. Doesn't look like it's had much paintwork either.
No, it's a little bit dull, but...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's none of that edging.
The orange peel.
It's lost the line there, but I mean, that might be just zealous polishing.
Our limo has been well received, but curiously, the fact that it's been mothballed with low mileage could be a problem.
Classic cars need to be used, definitely, without a doubt. A night or two a week and a Sunday afternoon is perfect.
One car that did 300,000 miles, the bloke blasted it everywhere. The moment he stopped using it was when it started having problems. But we will reserve judgment till we get it on the ramp and have a proper clock around it.
Any seized-up rusty surprises would be terribly dull. But if one is worrying about one's bill, maybe one should be thinking twice about owning a Rolls Royce. In Buckinghamshire, our 1981 Rolls Royce Silver Spirit is awaiting further examination by Ray and mechanic Chris.
From a small age, I've always taken things apart to rebuild them.
With only 7,500 miles on the clock,
the driver's seat appears to be the only seat that's been sat in.
We're hoping it's not suffered from a lack of use.
Get me glasses. It's unbelievable, isn't it, really? I mean, this looks all original to me.
Still got the original paint marks on the bolts. They've never been off them. Spring pans as well, very good. So the spring pans, this section just here. So generally what will happen is they'll collect water and they'll rot.
They're original brake hoses.
But they're not looking worn or?
No, but the trouble is what happens is that the hoses can deteriorate internally, and what will happen is you can get blockages, and they'll act as a one-way valve. So in other words, we've had it before where the brakes will go on but they don't come off. We would recommend changing the hydraulic hoses. Something's been leaking down here, but it's not leaking now, so whatever it was isn't a major issue. I mean, there's a little bit of leakage off the transmission.
So that's probably just working its way down from the back.
It could be coming from the rocker covers. It probably just need nipping up.
Clutching at straws, Chris finds a small hole in part of the exhaust.
it'll chuff a little bit.
The balance pipe between the A and the B bank. So
It's just where the water's collected in the exhaust.
yeah,
That wouldn't be worth welding that because it would just blow through.
So what do we need to do?
just change the balance pipe.
Yeah, it's just one unit.
But I mean, for a 42-year-old car, it is amazing. I'm quite surprised.
For us, it's a rare compliment about a vehicle we've chosen to restore. But the real credit goes to the previous owner.
What do they say? There's no such thing as a bad car, just bad owners.
It hasn't been sat next to a tumble dryer. It hasn't sat in an open barn with all the elements blowing in. Whoever's stored it very well.
I don't think it's seen any salt or snow, and that's how it works. You know, if you look after something and maintain it properly, it will last you for years. But that goes for anything, doesn't it? I mean, people have saucepans they've got for 50 years. It's the same principle.
With only a handful of things on the to-do list, including a 10-quid switch to fix the starting problem, we're almost safe to take the roller for a test run.
Obviously, we don't want to be driving the car if the oil level's low or coolant level's low, so we're checking that, and then we're going to check the running levels on the hydraulic system and the transmission.
However, it turns out that on these cars, basic servicing is a bit of an extreme sport.
It says here, warning rotating parts. To check the gearbox level, you have to do it running. You need to take a wiper relay out, which fortunately there's one out already because it's got a malfunction on the wipers. But the motor and the mechanism rotates. And if you put your hand down there to check the gearbox level and you've left a relay in and somebody touches the wiper switch, this will rotate round and break your wrist. It's a tradition.
It's also good practice to take the gearbox fuse out as well.
Yes.
These cars have an electric motor to select the gear. So if you just clip the gear selector with your elbow, it will change gear. I mean, there was a story that a car set off so fast it went through the garage, out the other side and into the pond. So if you take the fuse out of the fuse board, it can't do that.
Right, so there's potentially a couple of things that can try and kill you.
Absolutely, yeah.
But they're not dangerous, it's just a question of the safety warnings that they give you. You've got to adhere to them.
There's a quick check that there's adequate pressure in the gas-filled braking system. Reassurance that one of the longest and heaviest cars on the road might actually come back in one piece.
Rolls Royces are normally smooth, quiet, powerful, and this is actually not too bad at all. The tyres are a little bit harsh and probably could do with replacing, but it feels right. I'm even surprised how well it's driving on the rear suspension, because normally you would have assumed that if it had been standing for this long, it would need new gas springs, but the actual suspension, it's got some compliance and give in it.
The rear suspension on this car is a bit unusual. Originally developed by Citroën, some work is done by the springs, but the cushiony ride mainly comes from hydraulic struts. When you go over a bump, oil is forced up these towards a sphere filled with nitrogen. You're literally riding on gas.
It feels as it should do. There's no vibrations or, you know, it's quite surprising, really. I think it's got the makings of a very nice car.
Ray and the team are going to be doing a fairly extensive service on the Rolls. But apart from that, we're delighted that for once we can concentrate on just making a car look good. Our exceptional low-mileage Silver Spirit awaits its cosmetic glow-up. But first, some unglamorous stuff to keep everything running smoothly.
We've got all the parts here for the 24,000 mile service. Oil filter, air filter, spark plugs, gearbox filter and gaskets. These are the accumulated spheres for the brakes and the suspension. So this is the sphere that's full of the nitrogen gas inside. And then obviously brake hoses for the hydraulic service as well.
Unfortunately, our refined motor must now suffer the indignity of having all its fluids emptied in one go. We
have seen worse, far, far worse. The fact that the car's been standing for so long, it'd do it good to have new fluids, because the more you start driving it, you've then got the new lubrication to get around everywhere. We do the axle. It's definitely never had an axle oil change, judging by that. I'm impressed that it's lasted that long, to be fair.
Part of the exhaust had a microscopic hole in it, which is very tiresome. Chris restores calm with a new component.
As you're getting the pulses of exhaust going through each side, it balances the acoustics of it to make it a bit more freer flowing. They just tighten down as far as they'll go. And that's job done.
Also fettling our car today is 23-year-old Max Payne.
So right now I'm just changing the brake hoses that come from these pipes.
He arrived here at 16 and did a 5-year apprenticeship.
Rolls Royce and Bentleys are different to normal cars, you could say. I think you're just working on luxury. Some of the cars we get are worth as much as some people's houses, and it's kind of weird but fun at the same time. Not a lot of people get to do it. And it's something different about our job. We get to go out and meet the customers, and the 23-year-old gets to go out and pick up a 200 grand car, come back, service it and drop it back to the house. It's a bit different to the normal mechanic.
Presumably your daily driver is a
Volvo.
Our example may be a bit more affordable than your average Rolls or Bentley, but the cost of actually owning one can be a bit steep.
You have to have the budget to maintain them. I think it's about £3,000 a year, you know, as a minimum to keep one on the road.
People would put normal brake fluid in because they knew no better, and then you've got to strip the entire system down, strip it all out and start again.
It's a little bit more complex than, say, a Morris Minor, for example.
With only the cleaning and detailing to go, it looks like we might have dodged a bullet, thanks to our perfectly pampered roller.